Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome into the building. Happy Thursday. Glad that y'all all here hanging out for Trending Topics Thursday. We got a good lineup right now tonight. We got Cynthia Belly. She's coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta as a friend. I'm happy. I'm gonna see if you're happy. Live well, LA. Well, I'm glad that this is your first time catching a live. I hope you enjoy. We're gonna have fun. Don't forget to hit that like button, everybody, as you come into the building. So, Will Smith, Will Smith. I mean, the world can be so evil at times. They're refusing to forgive him, but he's in his feelings about not being forgiven. So, we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna also talk about JLO and Ben. Word on the street is that they are cheap. They're bad tempers. That's a whole hot mess. How do you have all of that money between J-Lo and Ben? Money for days. Money that they won't even be able to spend in this lifetime. Money that even if they gave a whole bunch of money to their kids, everybody's good. Are you really not tipping well, J-Lo and Ben? But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. And then Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is on the docket tonight because apparently Steve Harvey is taking his show Family Feud way too far. It is spilling over into his real life. He's having a real life Family Feud, people, and we're going to talk about it. So, you said, of course she is. Her marriage is now a divorce, and it's a storyline. I swear these relationships all be fake. We're going to get into it. We're going to get into it. So listen, guys. All right, come on, Roy. All aboard on the Diva train, y'all. Get your ticket. And your ticket is all you have to do is hit that like button. Listen, sometimes we have to stop, kick people off the train. Sometimes we have to stop, pick up people and let them on the train. But if you want to catch feelings, don't even get on the train, okay? Because over here we get down, we get it in, and it's all love at the end of the day. So let me bring in, thank you, John. Don't just hit that like button. Hi, Diva, you are great. Hit that like button. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. So, all right, let me bring the friends into the building. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey, Diva.
How are you?
I'm good. I love this trending topics today. It's gonna be heated.
It's gonna be heated. We about to get it in. Hey, E.
Hey Diva, hey Sebastian, all aboard. We're here.
Choo
All
choo.
aboard. Choo choo. Okay. All right, Candace. I'm in the train. Come on, y'all. Choo choo. The train is here. Hey, Auntie Robin.
Auntie Robin's the caboose today.
Ah!
Hey Auntie Robin.
Hey,
Hey.
Welcome into the
yo.
building. Oh, good, Miss True Kelly, catching the trending topics live. We about to get into this. Okay, we got a stranger joining us today, coming back in the building. We've seen a couple times. Hey, Chef Kev.
Oh, hey, Chef Kev.
Hey, what's going on? What's
Hey,
going on?
Chef
Happy
Kev.
holidays.
All
Yeah.
righty, happy holidays. Thanks for being here. Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, Diva. It's freezing here in Texas. It's like 10 degrees. It's so cold.
Oh, that is
Is it
cold.
really
I
that
thought we
cold or
was
feels
going
like it?
through it. Woo, that
Yes,
is cold.
because we're not
That is
used to it
cold.
being that cold. So,
That's cold. Yes, Jack Frost is out. Okay. Stay warm, everybody. Let's get into these trending topics. First, I got to start out. She was one of my faves. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't shy away from it. Even when people were hating on her, they was like, she's boring. She needs to go. Can everybody mute themselves until you're talking to me? I'm hearing a little bit in the background. So just put yourself on mute. So, even when people was like, she got to go. I love Cynthia. I think that when we do these, what do you call it? These reality TV shows, everybody can't be rah-rah, right? So Cynthia was like our quiet storm. Every now and then she gave us a little something. I like Lake Belly. Enjoyed when she had her relationship with Peter Thomas. I never thought Mike Kill was really in love with her. I think he was an opportunist, but that's me. Okay, I thought he was an opportunist, and then as soon as she got kicked off the show, lo and behold, their marriage barely lasted 2 years, and he was done. He was out. I think he just wanted to promote his book and promote his career. And when she was on RHOA, it was an easy way for him to do it. And then when they got married and she got kicked off, he ran for the hills also. So Cynthia's back on RHOA. Let's go around the room. Sebastian, are you happy that Cynthia's back? Now they saying she's coming back as a friend to the show. Now they doing her dirty in my mind. She needs her peach, okay? Hey, Bo. Hey, Marcella. And Marcella, I got to talk to you later because I only caught the end of your live the other day and you was getting it in, girlfriend, but we'll talk later. But thanks for stopping by. So, Sebastian, they're doing her dirty. They're letting her be a friend of the show. She deserves to get her peach back. But you know what? If they got to slide her in as a friend, I'm going to take it and we get to see Lake Belly again. How are you feeling about Cynthia Belly coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Well, Cynthia should be grateful that she's coming in as a friend of, because I don't know what she really has to just even be on this TV screen. She should be grateful. This wedding that we all saw on Atlanta, we all knew this marriage was not going to last. The man was literally in a room, and I think he's cheated with a lot of women in the room that he was in, remember?
Yes,
so
I do.
We're not going to act like that we knew this marriage was going to last, like they loved each other, they had eternal love. No, it did not. This was a way for her to try to get a peach again, but it didn't work out in her favor. So she's just going to have a little tag next to her name, friend of. So I kudos to Cynthia for being able to come back. I don't think Lake Bailey will see it again. I think she moved out. I'm not sure. But yeah, because remember, Cynthia moved to LA. We keep forgetting about this.
No. When they read their divorce, she kept Lake Belly.
Oh, she kept the Lake Belly. Okay.
They kept separate residents. They never intertwingle into whatever. They never mixed their lives at all. He had his LA house. She had Lake Belly. She had her own bank account. He had her own bank account. And to me, it was like doomed from the start. Chi-Town said exactly, Sebastian. I agree with you for once.
She should be grateful. Cynthia doesn't really bring anything to the table. I know Sonia didn't bring anything to the table, so it's just gonna be like, they're just gonna be together. I could see that. I could see Sonia and Cynthia being together. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, Boyer, thanks for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. We can bring her back for fluff. The show needs some real beauty again. See, don't do that. Don't do that to my
Kenya Moore is real beauty, Royer. Let me just tell you that Kenya is real beauty. Miss USA is on that show. Okay.
Who is that?
Gotta give
Tracy. Wait, hold on. Tracy, thank you for the super chat. Stop it. Cynthia, phony and desperate. Oh my, Tracy, don't do that to Cynthia. Don't do that to 50 Cent. Okay, don't do that to Cynthia. I like Cynthia. Okay, Cynthia is coming back. How do you feel?
I saw that and I was thinking Nene must be pissed. But what I will say about Cynthia, Cynthia was always a class act to me. I didn't like Mallory, so I hope she's not coming with. But I want everyone to remember season 8 reunion of the Housewives. Cynthia brought her A game. I was proud of Cynthia in that moment on that couch with Claudia, Kenya, and Candy. I think Cynthia can give us what we need. I think the lesson that I hope she learned is never bring a man into your business with this type of wayward past. And I think if we let Portia stay on the show being single and thotting around and being the princess of Thotlandia for 7 seasons straight, and Kenya didn't have a husband, and I like Kenya, she's my sister Aquarius, but if we can allow these single women to hold peaches, not to mention Marlo, the square reader between her legs, if you don't have a husband, I don't think that should be a prerequisite now because they've changed the game. I would love to see Cynthia, but I want her to go out on dates. I don't want her following behind Kenya this season. I don't want her kissing Kenya's butt. I don't want to see an apology or an extension from that girls trip. I want her to come in fresh, new attitude, banging body, fashions, and let's see what it gives. I'll go for it. She has my vote.
Yes, like a second chance. I think I'm liking that too. Speak with your girl. Marcella said she was boring then, and she will be boring. She will speak up. She will speak up more. We need Portia and Phaedra back.
But she's not more boring than Sanya and Sheree. If we can keep Sanya and Sheree, we can surely look at Cynthia.
That is true. That's true. Thanks, Marcella. Okay, Emmanuel, Cynthia's coming back. How do you feel?
All right, I got a few things to say. Number one, I'm with you, Diva. I'm really glad that she's coming back. She did deserve to come back as a full-time Peach. I mean, really, like, friend of the show. I mean, people call her boring. I don't think she was boring. She just wasn't all that dramatic. There's got to be some balance. Like you said, not everybody can be like being super into it. And Cynthia is an asset to Bravo because even this time that she's been fired, she's still been in the BravoCon and the Watch What Happens Live.
Yes.
So Andy clearly likes her. What else? Also, I mean, she's too old for me, but she is really looking amazing. Have you seen her? Like every time she comes, she looks amazing. So yes, I'm happy to see her back.
She's you know what? She's a good looking woman, and Cynthia is 50 something, right? For 50 something, she looks amazing. But I also follow Mallory on Instagram, and she's gorgeous too. Looking more and more like a Cynthia, like a supermodel nowadays, Mal. So I'm glad that she's coming back. Chi-Town said also, did you hear that Sheree is bringing Kim and Lisa Wu back? I did not. And listen, they better, if they do come back, it only better be only as a friend, because you can't be playing Cynthia out and giving her no peach and then giving those ladies more. Are we giving RHOA another season? Miss True Kelly, we're gonna try. Yes, we are. We're gonna try. So, Chef Kev, I don't know if you know about Real Housewives of Atlanta and Cynthia Bailey, but she's coming back. Do you want to add anything to this conversation?
Nope.
Yes, she kept Lake Belly. Yes, she wasn't totally crazy. You know what, Candace speaks, because I really think that she knew that the marriage wasn't really all that. I knew she probably was giving Mike Hill the side eye. And remember, it's almost like she had to force him to say, "Will you marry me?" Because she kept, kind of like when it was. I didn't like that scene. I didn't like when it was her and Mike on RHOA, because it's almost like she begged him to ask for her hand in marriage. So Robin, how are you feeling? Cynthia's back. How do you feel about it?
I think it's lovely that Cynthia Bailey will be back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know that she's coming back as a friend, but I like to say that it's more of a new probationary period. She's starting back on the job again. Give her. So let's call it that. And since I have referred to the 90-day probationary period, let me take a moment, and this is not on the Steve Harvey thing, but it is about Steve Harvey, because I'm going to blame Steve Harvey for Mike Hill, because he pushed Mike Hill onto Cynthia. We know that Cynthia is so gullible and easily influenced, and it was one of them schemes. Probably sat down with Todd to make it work. But I'm happy for her, and I'm happy for the fans of RHOA.
Yeah, yes, I am too. You know what, Nubian? You know what, Mahogany? You remind me. I did not like Cynthia Bailey on Big Brother, like at all. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see that season when she was on Big Brother and with Ty Bridges? What's the other guy? The guy, he was a mess too.
Todrick.
Yes.
Todrick?
Yes.
Yeah. And he a mess himself.
Yes, he did. So yeah, I didn't like on that. Yeah, she has Lake Belly. She definitely. Nene is unbothered because she is back on tour. I did see that Nene is going on tour. I do think she's a little myth. She probably a little myth. I think low key that Nene wants to be back on RHOA, but I also think that Nene realized that big bridge is burnt. Okay, it's like the ashes have been cleaned up. It's a wrap. Hey, baby daddy, how are you? In the bushes, baby mama. Good evening, everyone in the building. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for stopping by. So let's move on to our next subject, right? It is Will Smith. And let me say this about Will Smith. I'm into forgiveness, right? Because listen, at some point in our life, we all needed forgiveness for something. And if you didn't need forgiveness for something, live long enough and you definitely will, right? So mistakes happen. we do things, and at the end of the day, Will Smith didn't take someone's life. Will Smith didn't steal anybody's money. Will Smith did a thing that was wrong to another person. And really, the main person that should be in uproar about this is Chris Rock. And Chris Rock has seemed to pretty much stay under the radar in terms of this whole entire situation. So Will Smith was emotional. I think he's emotional for several reasons, right? Because his movie Emancipation came out, and not only did he work hard on it, but there were several other individuals that had nothing to do with what he did that got impacted by the fact that nobody or very few people kind of watched the movie. So he's feeling some type of way, and he's also feeling some type of way that his old friends in Hollywood, Tom Cruise is one of them, are kind of like turning their nose to him, closing the door on him, acting like he no longer exists, and acting as if he's the worst person in the world and he doesn't deserve forgiveness, and also that he doesn't deserve to be back in the industry. I'll start at the bottom this time and work my way back around. Robin, what is this whole Will Smith thing, and why do you think that they are just making him pay over and over and over again?
Well, I'm not convinced that there's a they that's making him pay over and over again. I'm also, I think that there are a couple of things. Let me start with the matter of forgiveness. I think that that's something that we have thrown in the ether, and it has nothing, any kind of forgiveness that is in this equation is between Chris Rock and Will Smith, and got nothing to do with us. Now, when we talk about, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes or how they're speaking, but the truth of the matter is, if we really look at Will Smith's movie career, his blockbusters have only really been the action movies, the Men in Blacks, the other stuff. All the others have been critically acclaimed, but folks haven't been like beating down the door to go see 6 Degrees of Separation or to go see Pursuit of Happiness, which was probably the better of them. Everybody didn't rush to see Hitch. I also think that it's one of the things that it just gives people something to talk about. Because while I have a feeling about what happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock, it had actually nothing to do with how I engage either of them as performers. I can say that I like Will Smith generally. I used to watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for sure. But how about his movies? I have never gone to the movie theater and seen one of his movies. The only of his movies that I've ever seen have been on cable, and I haven't even seen many of them. I saw The Pursuit of Happiness. I saw parts of 6 Degrees of Separation, and I saw Hitch. Outside of that, I haven't rushed to the movies.
Hold on, Robin. You're not a Bad Boys fan? You didn't go to see those movie?
No, I didn't. And I'm okay with it. And I really think that that's part of, I think that we have an outrage culture. So just like people are like, I mean, this whole thing that happened was a big deal, but I think that it's something for us to pile on and just talk about, just like how everybody was talking about, they were not going to feature Sherry Shepherd, but guess what? Look at where she's sitting. I'm not watching her. She's, So I just think part of it is fake outrage. And I think that is how he's marketed. I just don't think that the issue is really about people not forgiving Will Smith for his behavior at Oscar night.
All right, I understand your side of it, but I think it is they're not forgiving him. I think they're blackballing him. Tom Cruise won't even take his phone calls. But let me read this super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Live well. Yeah, wait, hold on 1 second. Thank you for the super chat. Live well, LA. This isn't about the slap. We are just tired of slave movies and black trauma. He should have never did this movie as his comeback. Well, here's the thing. It's not that this movie was in the works before the slap even happened. And he had several movies in the work before the slap even happened. And they really wanted to block every single project that he had upcoming. Bad Boys, I think they're on number 3 or 4, was in the works, but there's several movies that was in the works. and they wanted to block every last one of them. And it just so happened that they semi-unblocked, I guess, this Emancipation movie because it was on Apple TV. So, and then, you know, a lot of people are saying, I'm sick and tired of slave movies, right? But then on the flip side, and I'm just going to throw this out there so I can move to the next person. But then on the flip side, they say we don't know our history. And see, and then here's the other thing though, right? I hate to say this, but we got to tell the truth where the truth is. A lot of people won't even read about our history. So it's like, how do you want the education to happen? People won't read it. They're trying to put it in a movie, and we're saying we're tired of it. So what do we want to do? What do we want? And so sometimes, let me give me 1 second, Robin. So sometimes you got to see it, to believe it, to remember, so that you can do better and do different. That's just my thoughts on it. I want to go to Chef Cat, but hold on. I want to and Live Well. Thank you for the super chat. Let me say, for a lot of people, for someone, after someone has assaulted someone, it's hard to feel comfortable around them again. If one of my friends assaulted a mutual friend, I wouldn't feel the same around them either. And so I get that, right? And I don't want to ignore that. But let me say this. I have a book club, right? And I told you it's all females. It's about, when we was at our height before people moved, some people passed away, whatever. It was 11 of us, right? Now we're down to 8. And the arguments happen, stuff goes down. But I also had groups of friends, like, you know, when we went places outside of my book club, stuff nearly got to blows sometimes. And I looked at it for what it was. People in their feelings, in their emotions, in the minute, and some people being too hyped. If Will Smith went up on that stage and just started to beat Chris Rock down, I might feel a little bit differently about this. I'm not minimizing the slap, but I also want to say there was emotion and there was a lot more behind that slap than we'll probably ever know, unless those two decide to tell us some history behind what's going on between those two. I want to shut up for a minute, go to Chef Kev. What about Will Smith? What are your feelings?
Okay, so I'm actually bring Steve Harvey up because I listened to him right after the show, right after the slap. And Steve Harvey had made a comment and he said the Oscars is everything to Hollywood. It's the pinnacle of Hollywood. This is what they live for. You know what I mean? And so, like, they're a portion of the Oscars that's not even televised. So the way I look at it, and let me say, I did see Emancipation. It's an amazing movie, and I'm not a fan of slave movies. You know, I just can't do it. But it was a great movie. And I actually told somebody that slap took away his second Oscar, at least nomination, because that was an amazing.
And you have seen it. I'm glad you've seen it. Okay, great. I'm going to watch it. But go ahead.
And so to me, there's a phrase called "bad for business." Some people are just bad for business. You know, that slap on the biggest stage, you know, I'm not surprised that he don't hear from Tom Cruise, because what happened with all these black people when they get in trouble, when O.J. Simpson and so forth and so on, they turn back to the black people. The white people shut them out. You know, so I'm not surprised about that. But at the same time, you know, you got sponsors, you got situations. So if Will Smith is bad for my brand, I'm not going to reach out to him, or I'm not going to willing to reach out to him. And so that's the situation. So you reap what you sow. That slap was heard around the world, and if it's hurting his pocket, you know what you're getting emotional for. You did it. You did it on the biggest stage. And I'm not going to get into the slap because I have my feelings about that, but it was definitely unnecessary. But look what happened. And then, you know, just to put this out there, you didn't apologize on the biggest stage. You actually tweeted, you know how it is when Philly and Baltimore come to the party. And you and your wife ain't living in Philly and Baltimore another 20-something years. So This is how you reacted. This is the consequences of your actions.
So I hear you, Chef Kev, and I'm gonna throw something on the floor, and then I'm gonna move on to somebody else. Tucker said, if I could forgive Chris Brown and so many other celebrities for their mistakes, why not forgive Will? Tugger, you're talking right now, okay? You got a whole word in your mouth right there. There are so many other things that happens in Hollywood that are far worse than this slap. And those
But
people get to still show up to the party, collect their award, and move on with life.
but
So, yes.
real quick, that's not the same thing. Chris Rock is, I mean, Chris, what's the boy name you just mentioned? He's a singer. He's not in Hollywood. Hollywood is a different entity. Hollywood is you. When you seen other than Stomp the Yard, have you ever seen Chris Brown in another movie? He only did 5 minutes in that movie.
Hold on, Chef Cab. Let's deal with the people that are in Hollywood. Let's deal with the Harvey Weinsteins. Let's deal with all of those people that have done horrendous, hideous things.
And where
And
you
just
see him at?
because it is not known, it still happens. So because Will Smith stuff happened to happen in public, we're going to crucify him. Get the cross, get the nails, and crucify him. Put him up on that cross and bang him alive. When we know for a fact that people are doing worse
You are
stuff.
going to excuse the fact.
I lost you. Did I lose everybody?
No, I'm here.
Okay. Well, we lost Chef Kev. Emmanuel, what do you want to say about this Will Smith situation?
Come back, Chef.
I'm here.
Kev.
Okay.
Oh, did you say come back to you?
No. Oh, are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was telling Sherelle earlier was that I was on the movie app where I could buy my tickets.
Mhm.
Because I was buying tickets for the Whitney Houston movie that's coming out, and that's where I saw the Emancipation. And I was like, oh wow, it already came out. But then I saw that like some theaters were showing it, but it was like mostly Apple TV. So it got me thinking, did the movie flop because there was a lack of marketing, or was it truly because of it was Will Smith? You know what I mean? I personally will probably watch it because I do like historical movies, and I'm able to separate the artist from what he did. If I saw him, I probably wouldn't ask for his autograph or for his picture, because you're right, Diva. So many people have done horrible things, far worse than what Will Smith did, but we saw it with our own eyes. You know, we saw the assault happening, like him doing that in front of the whole world to poor Chris Rock. And I just think what Chris Rock must have been feeling standing right there being assaulted, and it just, I don't know. I think it's hard to like get past that.
All right. So Michelle is feeling type of way. I'm hearing you, Michelle. You said take a stand against violence, Diva. Let me tell you something. I do not condone violence at all. At all. There was kids watching the Oscars. Yeah. Okay. Will Smith hasn't taken accountability for the truth. What do we want him to do? So my thing is, what does it look like that he would be do a good enough apology that is going to satisfy everyone? What should he do? Should he take out a billboard and say, Chris Rock, I'm sorry? Should he ask the Oscars to let him on the stage for 2.2 seconds, have security, the next Oscars, have security walk Will Smith on the stage, let him get to the mic and say, Chris Rock, I'm sorry, and then have security take him out? Well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out, what do we want him to do? Will Smith hasn't taken accountability
But
for the
Diva,
truth.
if you remember,
Wait, hold on one second. I'm gonna let you back in a minute. Hold on one second. What is the truth? Will Smith keep making excuses instead of the truth that the truth that the whole world. What truth? What excuses he's making? See, here's the thing, guys. Right? What we like to do as a society is, and I often say this about people that go to jail. Jail is the sentence. But what we like to do is we like to send them to jail, make them have horrific conditions in the jail, treat them like a dog in the jail, and then when their sentence is up, we think that they're going to be able to come back out in society and be okay. So my thing is, if I do something and you sentence me to 10 years and I do my 10 years, when I get out, don't keep resentencing me and resentencing me. I can't get a job. I can't get away from this sentence. Every time I go to get a job, they're like, well, what did you do? Well, you spent 10 years in jail. We can't help you. So we re-victimize people and we want them to pay over and over again. But if it was us, we want our apology to be accepted. I'm not quite sure what else he can do. But Emmanuel, I'll come back to you. Let me get some others in this conversation. Will Smith.
So hopefully I don't sound contradictory because I know we did that trial with what was the man's name? The cheating man.
TJ Holmes.
Yeah.
TJ Holmes.
And I was on Team Right here. Your crimes do carry over into the workplace. However, I'm going to pivot, and hopefully, I'll be able to tie this in without looking like too much of being biased. But if I am, I accept that. So here's the thing: when it comes to Will, yes, he did that on a public stage. He couldn't come back and apologize on that same stage because the show was over. So it's not like it was days of the award show where he could come back on a grand stage and apologize. The show was over. So he apologized. That was amongst men, and he was suspended by the Academy. So he is not employed by the Academy. He's just recognized by the Academy. The movie production companies, they're still responsible for marketing this work because they've already invested into it. So they should be, regardless of what he did outside of that, they should still be marketing that work because there are other artists who still need to get paid. There are other artists who still are looking for their big break. And Hollywood is very, very biased, I will say, especially when it comes to relations of criminal records. And somebody mentioned Chris Brown earlier, but they're more than just Chris Brown who has, felonies and records. We have Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg, Kiefer Sutherland, Lindsay Lohan, Sean Penn, Amanda Bynes, Tim Allen, Eminem. These are people who are these are white people who, and I don't want to, well, yes, I do want to make it a race thing, but it's, yes, this happened on the stage, but that was something amongst men. Those men worked it out. Let's move forward. We cannot crucify him forever. And I feel like one outburst, should it erase your life's work? It can. It's hard to come back from, but I think he suffered enough. He stood up for his family. He took a stand, and I feel like no, Will is forgiven in my book. I'm ready for him to get back to work.
Thank you, E. So before I move on to the next person, let me acknowledge Tiffany here. She said, Diva, it seems that you are justifying his actions. He has to earn his way back. Would you remain a close friend with someone who slapped you in the church? Now, so let's be clear. I feel like Chris Rock handled this like a champ. He handled it well. I commend Chris Rock. I don't know what my reaction would have been in that moment, but I give a lot of credit to Chris Rock because had it been someone else, this thing could have went way different, way left. It could have been a scrapple on that stage. So the fact that Chris Rock handled it the way that he did, kept the show going, and also Chris Rock, he could have had Will Smith arrested. He did not. And that's why I have so much admiration and I give Chris Rock so much credit. So I don't want y'all to think because I said this means I'm against or I would allow that. Of course not. If somebody came and slapped me in the church, I don't even know if I would have been able to handle it the way Chris Rock did. And that's keeping it 100. So I'm not saying to y'all that Chris Rock needs to do a movie with Will Smith. I'm not saying that Chris Rock needs to forgive Will Smith. I'm saying that the world, okay, needs to move forward, move on, and let it go. And the reason why I'm saying that is he has already paid for this thing 10 times over. The man, you can tell when you look at him, and I'm talking about Will Smith, he doesn't even look the same. Okay. When he went out of the country to kind of deal with this and get away from all the media and everything and the backlash, trust me, it pained him. Now, am I saying
Mhm.
that he should just get awards for no reason? No.
No.
But am I saying that he should be able to move on and work? I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
And let's be
Yeah.
clear, in my opinion, Will Smith has a lot of good movies. Somebody reminded me, Muhammad Ali. Okay. Also, I happen to be a big fan of the Bad Boys, all of them, 1, 2, and 3. And I think they was about to do 4. I can't off the top of my head list all the Will Smith's movies, but I think he has a good catalog underneath his belt.
He
And
Can
I
I
does.
say
think
something
this,
real quick?
yes,
And
you
I
can.
want one last
Uh,
thing
uh,
too. Go
And I
ahead,
need
Manuel.
to, yes, and I need to let other people in. But go ahead, Chef Kev, then Robin, I'll
real,
come to you. Yes.
real quick, when
Thank you.
she said, "How could he apologize?" He smacked him. Then he won an award. So you
Mm-hmm.
had a chance on that platform to apologize. You apologize to the Academy. You apologize to the people in the audience, but you didn't apologize to the man you slapped. You waited months later to apologize. Like my whole thing
Mhm.
is this: apologize to me on a platform you made the statement or whatever you did to me on. Don't slap me in the streets and apologize to me over the phone. Apologize to me in front of everybody the way you did. He did it. He had an opportunity. And why did it take you all these months when you got publicists and all this stuff to come up with an apology?
Okay, so
So,
Chef
like I
Kev.
said,
So
I'm
Chef
not
Kev.
saying we should do that. He's reaping what he sowed. That's it.
Oh,
Well,
okay, Chef Kev.
act up,
So,
you
so,
get
so,
snatched
so
up.
hold on. So hold on. I'm gonna let you back
Mhm.
in. E. So hold on. So Chef Kev, right? Okay, he missed his opportunity. Have you never missed the opportunity with something? So he missed his opportunity. He missed his open window to apologize, right? So you're saying because he missed his window of opportunity, he's done. He's doomed.
No,
He's a
I'm
day
not.
late and a dollar short. So what are you
I'm not
saying?
saying he's. I'm not saying he's done. What I'm saying is, you is consequences to your actions. It's things I taught my kids and everybody else, and I was taught the same thing. When I saw my dad say, when you find yourself in a situation, ask yourself how much percentage. What could you have done to change this? And I'm saying
Right.
to you, you have to own up and say, okay, you know what? I made my mistakes. I can own up to my mistakes because you can't correct yourself if you don't own up to it. I'm not saying cancel him. I told you I watched the movie. I thought the
Yeah.
movie was great. I went to work and told people you need to watch this movie. Get your girl or sit down with some popcorn and watch this movie. So I'm not saying they should cancel him. I'm just telling you the reason why he's being canceled or what's going on. Do I think they should cancel him? No, but this is the situation. You are reaping what you sow. It's you know
No,
what I
they're
mean. It's
canceling him for Jada. This is about Jada. This is not about Will.
just
So
real
so
quick.
wait, hold on, Chef Kev,
Can
because I need
Robin
to
get
let
in
other
here?
hold on 1 second, because I didn't let some people in for the first round. I need to let them in and then I'll circle back. And Nubian, thank you. He who is without sin. Throw the first rock. I'm trying to tell you, Royer, you're in the building. What would you like to add to this conversation?
Hey everybody, happy Thursday and happy holidays. I hope everybody's had a good day.
Hey,
Um, I'm gonna jump over here into the comments real quick and I'm gonna shout out, hey Fifi. And Fifi said he apologized when he was ready and he meant it. And I agree with that sentiment. He apologized when he was ready and he meant it. But now at this point, Will Smith is going to have to accept the fact that now that you have apologized when you were ready and you meant it, now you have to wait for the world to be ready and mean it to receive you back in for when we're ready to take you back in. Just because you apologize, just because you ask for forgiveness, just because you go away to do the work, that doesn't mean that you can just come back and jump back into your spot in line like nothing ever happened. You have to
Mm,
pay for what you did. And
mm.
I unfortunately I did not go see his movie in the theaters, but I am gonna watch the movie, and it was just because I missed. I don't know if it's still in theaters, but I had planned on doing it. But I just you can't rush me and tell me when to, get back to you and get back to doing you, just like, I'm just now getting back to Chris Brown and really, dealing with him, and a couple of other people. So you can't rush us and tell us when to get ready for you. You have to wait for people to accept you. And unfortunately, because of your choice, it affected other people around you. And you can't be upset at other people for making their choice not to fool with you or to fool with you or whatever the case may be. You made a decision, and unfortunately, others did not like what you decided to do. So you have to accept the consequences of what you did. But me personally, I forgive him, and I am working towards, trying to be better and not holding people to the cross, because I hold a grudge, especially if I already feel some type of way about somebody and you do something to justify it. Oh, I'm really like, okay, I'm good with you. So, but I'm working on it. So I forgive him, and I am going to watch his movie only because of the others who worked so diligently and hard to be his alongside in the cast, his supporting castmates. So, yes.
I have an alternate theory.
Okay, so wait, hold on, Robin, because I got to get other people in. But Adrian, come through. We're connecting. Okay, please miss me with it was Jada fault. A grown man did a grown man things. I'm still waiting for Chris to apologize to Jada. Holla at me, girl. Holla at me. But we seem to be the only ones on that train. Hold on 1 second, please. We seem to be the only ones on this train, girlfriend. But all right, it is what it is. Sebastian, I need to let you in. What do you want to say about the Will Smith situation?
We are dragging this situation too far, okay? Isn't it about, it's gonna be a year soon that the Oscars happens. Come on now. Like, as Royer said, he apologized when he was ready to apologize, and he meant it. I'd rather someone apologize to me and they mean it than when they just do it and like they're just doing it just to make themselves look good in front of the public eye. Like, let's give Will Smith another chance. I'm tired of this nonsense.
Thank you, Sebastian. Okay. And a lot of folks were triggered by seeing that secondhand trauma for people who have been assaulted or grew up seeing that. So physical assault is not easy. Is not an easy one to slide for some of us. Slide by for some of us. Okay. Exactly, trying to move on. Okay. So Robin, you were trying to say something else. Yes. What was you trying to say?
I have an alternate theory. So someone earlier in the chat said, talked about separating the artist from the art. One entity that we have not discussed in this entire debacle has been the studio, in air quotes. I want to place some blame on them because they went ahead and decided how the public was going to feel about this instead of staying on what would have been their normal course to promote the movie, to promote Will Smith, to promote the story. The fact that they held back gave all the general public permission to judge him and lump it in with his artistry. And I think that the studio has some fault. Oh, we were gonna release the film, but we're gonna hold it back because we don't know how the people are gonna feel about it. You know what? By all accounts, Chef Kev is one of the people who has already weighed in that this was a solid performance. Even on Oscar night, they were talking about this film, Emancipation, and saying that was going to be another, at minimum, Oscar nod for Will Smith. So I'd like to place some bit of blame on the studio for not backing Will Smith and the project, regardless of what happened in that instance. Because again, we talk about separating the art from the artistry, and a whole lot of y'all can do that. And I will, again, want to place a good deal of blame on the studio as well.
I appreciate that, Robin. I get your point there. Michelle, if it wasn't because of Jada, explain why Will got out of his seat and assaulted Chris Rock. Well, look at Jada, his wife, not liking the joke, and that is why he got out of his seat. I don't want to really cycle back to that. I mean, at the end of the day, we all are responsible for self. So I think he got up himself and did what he did. He's the man of the household. So your wife can look at you, not look at you or whatever. But if you're the man of the household, you're going to do what you want to do.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, you can.
Just watch Red Table Talk, the Different World reunion. Towards the end, she makes a comment, and it's just hilarious because it makes you think about the Will Smith slap. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go watch the Red Table Talk with the Different World.
What'd you say?
Well,
I know
they asked they asked everyone. They asked everyone what was their favorite show. What was their favorite show? And everyone knows her fixation with Tupac. And she said, my favorite show is the one with Tupac. And you could see the cast kind of look at each other. And it kind of paused. It was like a pause in the room. You know what I mean? Because everyone would say their favorite show. Like, oh, I remember that show. I remember that show. She goes, my favorite show. They said, what's your favorite show? And she didn't say nothing right away. They asked her. She paused for a minute. She said it was a show with Tupac because everyone knows her fixation with Tupac. And Will Smith has admitted when he met Tupac, he was intimidated by him because he knew his ex-wife was in love with him. That was spoken on the Breakfast Club. So that's why I thought it was funny. So, and that was one of the comments that was made, is that maybe he's trying to, that's the situation. But that's for another topic. But I just thought that was pretty funny when I watched the show. When she brought up Tupac, she brought it up very lightly, and everybody was kind of like, and I was like, ooh. So, but if you watch, it's a good show.
Yeah, she don't.
All right. Anyway, so all right, so we're gonna move on. I guess we gotta agree to disagree when it comes to Will Smith. I just say, you know what? We all need forgiveness at some point. We all don't. We all don't apologize, the same way. So I just, I just say Will deserves our forgiveness. Chris Rock can forgive him when he forgives him, and I guess I got to just move on. I'm on the train alone. I'm on the train alone.
Listen, you better dismiss us, okay?
What did you say, Diva?
Wait, Sebastian, are you on this train with me? Are you forgiving Will? Yes or no?
I'm forgiving Will. I
appreciate you, Sebastian. E, are you on the train with me? Are you forgiving Will? Yes or no?
I am forgiving Will. And before you move forward, 10 seconds or less, to the person who wrote that comment to me about Jada, I was not saying that it is Jada's fault. I was saying people are crucifying Will because they don't like Jada. And that's a fact. A lot of black men are sticking him to the mud, whereas they will forgive him 50% for all the crimes he's done against the community in future. Well, it's something about Jada that is turning people off against forgiving Will. But no, I forgive Will. Eva, you and I are on, me and you on a 2-seater.
All right, we on a 2-seater.
No, I'm in a 2. Okay. It's 3.
It's a 3-seater so far. The train is staying on the track. Okay. Roy.
Get up. Get up, boy.
Listen, even though you dismissed our opinion, Deep.
Yeah. Yes or no?
Even though you dismissed our opinion, I'm gonna forgive him or whatever, I'll forgive him or whatever. But
listen, you know what?
Look, we see you. We see you.
We see each other. Okay?
We see each other. Oh my gosh.
Listen, y'all know I get emotional. Y'all can call me out, okay? But listen, Emmanuel, are you on the train with us? Are you forgiving Will or not?
Yeah, I'll forgive him, but I think the most important person is Chris.
I'm gonna call Chris up
because he's the one that got hit. Yeah.
Well, he's gonna have to put his big boy pants on and recognize, yes, he got hit, but it's time to move on. Because I'm tired of him acting like it's a whole big deal. It's not like
Will should have had his big boy pants
punched.
on and accept that it was just a joke.
He did not get punched. He got humiliated for a few seconds, and now look at us. We still got to talk about something that's about to be a whole year old. Like, come on now.
Well, we forgiving Will Smith. We forgiving Will Smith. Robin,
yeah.
well, come on, Michael. Michael, hello, baby daddy.
Thank
What
you.
would Jesus do? Come on now. We got to bring Jesus into this.
He was saying, forgiveness is mine, saith the Lord. That's
Okay.
what he was saying. Listen.
No, he would slap Bill across the face.
Listen, see, I'm playing. Robin, yes or no? Are you forgiving Will?
I don't know who we is, but I'm not in the position to forgive him or not. It's not important to me. I appreciate and respect both of them and what they bring to the table. I am on record for many years. I'll go back to 1985 as being a very big fan of Chris Rock from the first time I saw him at the comic strip with his buck teeth and his fringe jacket, leather jacket. Whatever they got going on, they got going on. If they want to entertain me, I'm open and receptive. Let them let them go. How y'all say, let God, hello.
All right.
Chef Kev, don't care.
Chef Kev, are you forgiving Will Smith?
I don't have nothing against them. I mean, I saw the movie. You know what I mean? I saw the movie. I'm just giving my opinion why people reacted, but I just
Chef Kev, forget about all the other people right now. I'm asking you, Chef Kev, do you
I don't have a thought about it. I just watched the movie.
All right,
so
that's it. So, all right. So
it didn't hit me.
Boy, stop. I can't with you. Okay, listen. JLO and Ben. Okay. Word on the street is that they are the worst tippers in the world. How do you have all of this money, all of this cash for days, the two of them, okay? Cash for days, okay? J-Lo stay working. She got ads for Coach. She got J-Lo Beauty. She does movies. She sings. She was at the Super. Come on, J-Lo. J-Lo got money. The bank account is overflowing. And now they going down, sitting in restaurants, getting their Starbucks and all that stuff and not giving the people the proper tips. What is going on? Sebastian, what about JLo and Ben? What the heck?
Low budget. That's what happens, JLo, when you marry someone with addictions like Ben.
Oh my gosh.
It's just the facts. He just negates your lifestyle. Everyone saw you as someone who had a lot of money, someone with class, someone with elegance, but now you're just a no one. You're just a no tipper, a low tipper, whatever you are, and you're just low budget.
Well, all right, Sebastian. Word on the curve is JLo and Ben, they're not good tippers.
Well, I can believe it. I mean, she stole songs from Ashanti for all these years and walked off with all those awards. So, I mean, of course she's not a good tipper. What do I want? If y'all not gonna forgive Will, we're not gonna forgive Jennifer. I say cast her away, 30 days in prison.
Did you say she stole songs from Ashanti?
She stole songs from Ashanti. She stole Ashanti's voice and lip sync it all throughout the award shows and Super Bowls. And she did that to Christina Milian as well. Yeah, she's a thief. So in addition to not tipping the standard, she steals. So she's been breaking the law for a long time. I say 30 days in jail and 500 hours of community service. All aboard.
Roy.
Okay, yeah. What was the question again?
JLo and Ben, okay, they're bad tippers, okay?
Okay.
All aboard. They said Jenny from the block. Jenny from the block don't like the tip. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is very saddening, and it frustrates me when people, who come from where we come from. I don't want to say where we come from, but average everyday life. When you come
Right.
from an average everyday life, knowing how hard that you work, your parents have worked, whoever has worked, and then you have become this success, and then you don't want to pay it forward. I think that is one of the most irritating things that really gets under my skin is when people don't want to pay forward the blessings that they have been afforded.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? Like, I'm not asking you to pay my rent. I'm not asking you to pay my paycheck. I'm not asking you just to give me some money. I'm asking you to be gracious enough to, out of the kindness of your heart and my due diligence of my service, give me a service in your cash by thanking me for everything that I have done. And even I feel like when you have bad service, you should still tip because you just don't never know. That just may be the blessing that may turn somebody's day around for the next person to come for them to be nicer to them. I just think it's a disgrace for you to have all of this fame and fortune, the both of you to have all of this fame and fortune and look so littly down upon the little people that you think, are little. It's just disrespectful. And I agree with E. 30 days, send them away.
Yeah, yeah. Send them away. All right, Emmanuel, JLo and
Um,
Ben, not
well,
tipping.
I've always liked JLo, but recently I've been seeing some videos on TikTok, and of course this is only hearsay, but they say that she's very rude with her employees. They
Yeah.
said that the driver cannot look at her in the eyes, her luggage can never touch the floor, and her
Mm.
entire room has to be white. And if somebody does something wrong, they say that she'll go out of her way to get them fired. And I'm like, damn, like that made me look at her in a different way. And she wouldn't be where she is if it weren't for Selena. So
Well, 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 well.
That
That's
part,
fact.
that part.
That's fact.
yeah.
That's fact. And you know what? I heard that same thing about her. I did not watch that entire documentary. I think it was on Netflix because she was acting some type of way about Shakira.
She
She
was
did
so
not
rude,
want
yeah.
to do that Super Bowl with Shakira. And I was like, all right, J-Lo, you seem too much now. And I had to stop watching because I actually liked it. And I like her little movies that she do. And so I didn't want to get this tainted view of her. But she really did not want to do the Super Bowl with Shakira. She was pissed that they had to split that time. J-Lo is a lot. She's a lot. Robin, J-Lo and Ben.
I want to do the Super Bowl by myself too. I can't sing like anybody, I can't dance like anybody, but I like the spotlight. I will say about this whole tipping thing, two things. There are so many extremes about them. I think it sucks if it's true that Ben and Jen aren't good tippers, but I want to give a shout out to all my people who are on my level where we are, or really where we at, because the statistics show that people who are not of the greatest means are the most generous and giving. And I just want to just give a shout out to those of us who know what it is to be able to give back to those among us, and all them other people, they're not in my world.
Yeah, Nano, you said J-Lo ate Shakira on the Super Bowl. I'm going to give her that.
Yeah, you know Ashanti's vocals.
No, right, right. That part. So here's the thing. I think that sometimes we don't understand. So her part, what J Lo said, like I said, I didn't end up watching the whole thing because she was kind of, I was getting the wrong vibes, and I liked her, and I didn't want to stop liking her. But what she said is she part of her being pissed was that she said finally a Latino gets to do the Super Bowl, and they're gonna throw both of us together. And my thought was, but now both of y'all together, they get double. So why are you so mad?
And first
Yeah.
of all,
She was
JLo
being
needs to get
petty.
that. She needs to correct that statement very well because last time I checked, I don't see Telemundo or Univision with her on there. Shakira will be on there sometimes, not JLo. So actually, the true Latino that was there was
She
Shakira.
doesn't even
That
speak
is
Spanish. And Ben, who is a white guy, speaks fluent Spanish much better than her.
Exactly.
Yeah, J Lo, they're messy, but they're not good tippers. Chef Kev, what do you think about J Lo and Ben? And I'm saying that you're a chef. How do you think
Oh,
about them not tipping?
okay,
Not
first
tipping
of all,
well. Not tipping well. I don't want to say. I
uh,
keep saying not tipping, but not tipping well.
okay, first of all, let me promote your channel. Go back 2 years, and Diva did a show on tipping and in a restaurant. So look at her library and look that up. I personally cooked for her twice. She's a pain in the behind. Um, so I don't know about Ben. I think this is more on her. She wanted the onions, picked out the rice. She started laughing. This is, I guess she's not eating that. Um, but she was very like she gave her list of what she wanted. Her like she put her order in and then had all these unbelievable tasks that she wanted done to the food, and basically it couldn't be done. We just she just ended up leaving. But she's very difficult when she comes into a restaurant. So two times she's come into a restaurant I worked in, and we fed her one after a concert and one after I think a TV show. And she's just very difficult to deal with. Like no one liked her. The servers, the hostess, the maitre d', no one liked her. So I will put this more on her than Ben.
Throwing it on a female, not them
I,
together.
it's well, I personally experienced her. I never experienced Ben, so I would put this more on her because I know I've experienced her in a restaurant twice. I've never experienced Ben.
I'm messing with you, Chef Kev. Now I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. Yes, okay. So that's JLO and Ben. So we have to kind of bring this thing, almost pull it into the last stop here. But let's bring this in and talk about Steve Harvey. So Steve Harvey, rumors have it, that he's always been a piece of work. Speak to his second wife, Mary, that said, she's 10 toes down that he did her dirty. But hey, speak to the first wife, because the first wife said she was done dirty also. And the first wife said that he didn't give any child support until the second wife came along and was like, yo, you got to give her some money. But then the side chick, who's now the wife, running things, Margie came along, and all the wife number 1 and 2 got done dirty. And she don't give a darn. And so what Steve did is he adopted all of Margie kids, and his own biological kids felt like, yo, dad does us dirty. He loves her kids more than he loves us. And out of all the kids, Lori Harvey is the queen bee. She's number 1. If Lori wants a Range Rover, she gets it. Lori wants to go, tour the world. She tours the world. And the rest of them get what they get when they get it. Now, the twins, Steve Harvey has a set of twins. The twins never liked Marjorie. But you know what? That's their dad's wife. They got to deal with her. So now everybody is up in the uproar. A lot's going on in the Steve Harvey household. And no pun intended, but he's having a real life family feud at home. But to add to this, let me say this. Steve Harvey, he is a piece of work. If you remember back when he had the Steve Harvey show, they said he was no better than Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres had some issues on her show. People said, a lot about her and how she treated the staff. They said Steve Harvey was the same way. In addition to that, Steve Harvey, and I on purpose, he wrote that book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. And I put Act Like a Man, Think Like a Man. Why? Because you letting Marjorie run the ship, Steve. Man up. Put your big boy jaws on and run your household. And treat all those kids the same. But sometimes there's a lot of men that do that. They have 99 kids, then they get married, and they want to pretend like they don't have 99 kids. They want to act like the only kids that matter is the kids they have with the new wife. And that's messy. So we got to go around the room and let's have a conversation about Mr. Harvey, okay? Being messy, acting as if the only child that matters. And listen, she's gorgeous. I like her. Lori Harvey is everything. She got body, she got face, and she's learning everything from her mama. And listen, like Marjorie or not, she's gorgeous. Because Marjorie, I think, is in her 50s too. That woman, hands down, she got a body on her. Marjorie don't miss a sit-up or a squat. Okay? And she slays in them clothes. And when Marjorie got with Steve, She changed his whole look all the way around.
Yes, she did.
Sebastian, I'm gonna start with you. What's up, Steve Harvey? He's having a real life family feud.
Well, then he brought it on to himself, so he's gonna have to deal with it. You wanted to be with all these. You've been married 3 times.
Uh-huh.
This is what happens. You create so much relationships. You have a blended family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and this is the problem. I'm not saying blended families are issues. Trust me, blended families are great. But in the case of Steve Harvey, you can't show favoritism to your adopted ones and leave out your biological ones. It doesn't work like
Mm-hmm.
that. You got to treat them equal if it's a true blended family. But you know what? It could be Marjorie who's pulling his strings too.
Marjorie is definitely pulling the strings. Okay, she's the queen bee. What Marjorie said goes. Okay, and guess what? These other wives who were there when he was building his career, come on, writing jokes for him probably too. He is not thinking about them, child, and ain't thinking about them kids either, unfortunately. And listen, all the kids are adults. All the kids are adults. But don't y'all go change it now, because just the other day, y'all said Romeo mattered. And
Yep.
Romeo is a
Yep.
full-blown adult. So if Romeo matters,
Yep.
so do Steve Harvey's adult children. What do you have to say about Steve Harvey?
Well, you knew to mention my husband before you came to me. That's right. Children do matter, and your father is supposed to set you up for success. That's one of the main jobs of a father. Let me tell you
Yeah.
something about Steve and what I know. Steve is a colorist, and Steve is a xenophobe. Steve gives everything to this girl. Yes, you called it diva. Yes, Marjorie is beautiful. Lori is beautiful as well. And yes, they know the game. I don't expect anything less from Lori. I mean, your mother was a house runner and your father sold keys. So of course you got it honest. So I expect you to be out here running game. That's what you do. That's what you know. However, the daughters who have the name in their blood, okay, with the big heads and the big noses, just like Steve, I expect to see them being set up for success. I expect to
Mhm.
see them with their own shows. I expect to see them with their modeling contracts. Like, help your children. But what I also know is that men, when they move on from women, the way that they treat those previous children is a direct reflection of how they feel about the mothers. And
Mm.
because Steve doesn't have any respect for those previous mothers and ex-wives, he has no respect or feeling towards those children, and it shows. And I say this even about my own father, because it's 6 girls. You can't be a good father to 3 and crap on the rest. You're not a good father. You're a part-time father, and you leave your children uncovered. Steve, one more thing, and then I know we have to move on. The women who held him down prior to, when he had nothing, because let's be clear, Steve is not a looker. When he had that show, the Steve Harvey show, the sitcom, Steve was never fine to me. I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand the obsession. But men go for women who they think are out of their league, and they will give those women the world. It doesn't matter about the women who held them down and loved them the most. They don't care about that. They want the woman who they deem out of their league, and they will kiss her feet until they pass away, just so they can have some sense of accomplishment. Oh, I got this, because guaranteed of your money back. You said it yourself before you came to me. Marjorie pulled up his game. She makes him look better. So it doesn't matter about when Steve was sleeping in his car and he could only afford McDonald's for one person, and he had to split it with. I mean, all of the sacrifices that that first wife made, and then the way that he did Mary. It's all about this pretty lighter skinned woman with these European features that are making him look good, and he's repaying her by rewarding her children and passing his away. Steve ain't. Now, before we move on, I want to give my judgment on the diva train. Steve needs 30 days in jail and 500 hours of community service, just like JLO. All aboard.
All aboard, okay? So as far as saying, maybe the other daughters don't want to be models. They're in their 30s. Y'all need to stop. No,
Play
as far as
basketball.
the kids, no, as far as the kids are pissed. The kids are pissed. We ain't starting nothing here. We just bring it to the forefront and maybe seeing if we got a solution for this family feud. No, Steve Harvey kids are pissed right now. Okay, so I don't think it's about them wanting to be models. I think it's about them saying, "Hey, daddy, Be fair to all of us. You got Miss Thane up on a pedestal. So when they at the family dinners, and you know how they got the head of the table, but Margie's on one side, Lori's on the other, and everybody else in between. Get out of here, okay? Steve Harvey is not even at the other end. He's somewhere in between. Margie and Lori are running the rules, okay? They're the top dogs in that Harvey family. And all the other kids are trying to say is, what about us? And I bet you that Margie is the one that did that will. So those other kids, they ain't about to get a dime. It's going to be sad. So we ain't starting nothing. We just bringing the facts to you of what's going down. And we trying to see if we got some solutions for this family. And she said, I also heard that when he was wearing hair, it was a whole...
It was.
See, y'all don't have to do y'all don't have to do that.
All them old celebration of gospel BET.
Oh, Jesus.
Y'all don't got to do that. E, you better speak, E. Thank you, Rebel Sunflower, for the super chat. She said you better speak on it, E, okay?
Thank you.
Listen. All right now, okay. Who didn't speak on this? Did you say? Go ahead, Robin.
Listen, I think that E just edited herself. I love you, E, but I was really waiting for you to come at us with this whole situation, relating it to a combination of Sister Wives and Nick Cannon. I thought you were talking about how Cody Brown is with the last wife and the set of children from there, and how there's a lesson to be learned about how Nick Cannon is with his I'm
My God. Robin.
Okay, well, Auntie Robin has gathered herself. I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. She over there going in. So, I'm just gonna have to throw this back to the Miss Evelyn, Miss E. Listen, this is what happens when you lay it low and you spread it wide, and then you turn around and then get somebody that is out of your league, and then they just run the kingdom. It's horrible. The fact that, I've always, in my opinion, had an issue with Steve Harvey, because I feel like you run around here trying to tell everybody what to do and live this grand life, but behind closed doors, you got a mess going on. And that's what I've always thought. And now here it is coming out, the mess going on. It's just so funny how you sat on your show all these years, and even on your radio talk show, you sit on here and you give advice and you give all of this information and trying to tell us that you know everything and how to get how to tell a woman how to get a man and how to keep a man and do all of this stuff. But it looks like you're just running behind your wife, pleasing her, and that's the only way you're keeping her. Because in my opinion, Marjorie doesn't even look like that Steve Harvey is her type. She looks like she just ran behind the money where it was, and she's doing what she really want to do on the side, if the truth be told. And I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out the closet too, while everything else is coming out. So y'all get ready, because this is just a new story that is getting ready to unfold. 2023 has some tea in store for us.
Okay.
2023 is the year that the fathers are going down. They're being held accountable.
Accountable.
We hold it. Yes. Okay. So, what do you want to add to this conversation?
As I said before on Sherelle's show, Steve is a little vibrational. He's a very unattractive man, and his actions make him even more unattractive. He's chasing behind someone that he has fantasized about.
Yes.
He's adopted a daughter, almost a grown woman, because she was in her late teens when he adopted her, because he wished that he produced something like that. And the sad thing about it is, women of his own regular phenotype, his own regular black women, is the ones who have put him in an advantage that he's actually living in. The stupid books that he writes, the stupid shows that he acts in, where he always gives all of this advice to black women, but yet he's showing you he feels like you're the bottom of his shoe. His wife, who he puts on a pedestal, sleeps with drug dealers. Known fact, sleeps with family members, does what she needs to do, scrapes on the bottom like a doggone something in the bottom of the sea just to maintain a lifestyle. And she's taught her daughter as such. And people are reaching to say she has a skincare line. Please, the girl is no chemist. She put her face behind a brand that Steve Harvey basically foot the bill. And that's why she has a skincare line. Let's stop giving her and her mother accolades. They are what they are, low vibrational, period.
Woo.
And I'm not hating. That's my opinion. I want, when this man, he's already reaching his twilight years, when he stops being able to produce as hard as he produces with his 150 jobs to maintain that life, we'll see how soon she and her daughter leaves, and she leaves that daughter leaves the last name Harvey behind. And he's sitting there wanting his own biological kids to help him out when he can't sit there and do it on his own.
Damn.
Well, as far as you mad at us, but that's all right. Sometimes family, we gotta fight, right? She said, "Stop the Margie hate. God has blessed him abundantly since he married her." Lori is putting in the work, okay? So as Paul said, we're hating on Marjorie. He's been blessed abundantly. The Bible does says when a man finds a wife, he finds himself a good thing. Okay.
Excuse me, Diva. Are we forgetting that his show
and
got
they said
canceled?
Lori is putting in the work. Go ahead, E.
Are we forgetting that his talk show got canceled after he tried to play in Monique's face with that whole Oprah and what was that? I forgot the other person's name. But no, he had the last few years have not been the best for him. So
I love to preach. What abundance is he living in? He's working 150 jobs and he's 60 plus years old.
Okay, people are looking at these pictures, these Instagram pictures. What does the bank, like Nene Leak say, what is his status at the bank? I'd really like to see. Don't tell me what the net worth says on Google, because we saw with Percy and Romeo yesterday. That's false. What is Steve's status at the bank? Steve is not blessed abundantly. But what we do know is that it all takes one day. All it takes is one day for everything to go to hell. And Steve's time is approaching because no good deed goes unpunished, and every dog doesn't go to heaven.
Period.
Well, should we? Do I say amen right here? I don't even know. I'm tongue tied right now. Okay.
Listen, it's for me with Fifi.
Hold it back. Yes. Go ahead.
It's Fifi talking about when a man finds a side piece, he finds a good thing.
Uh-oh.
And can I say, we want to give Marjorie flowers, but when Mia did the same thing, Mia Thornton on the Housewives of Potomac, y'all won't let her live that down. They're the same. Marjorie is Mia. Mia is Marjorie.
Okay, so Marjorie
going too far. You're taking us off the track.
Yeah, let me read this. Marjorie cheated with a married man who married her after he finally got divorced. Yes, she has helped him out, but he already had a wife when he found Marjorie. Well, that's facts.
Yep.
That's facts. Okay. His money, his choice. Okay. I ain't mad at Marjorie Harvey. She convinced that fool to adopt.
I cannot. I can't.
Right.
He said this fool.
That's facts right there.
This
facts.
Is facts.
You know what? Marjorie could write the book. Let me tell you something. Side chicken is a 1%. It's like the lotto. Okay. Most side chicks do not win. But Marjorie is an example of a side chick who won the lottery, okay? She hit the jackpot. And that right there, Capricorn, You are correct, honey. She convinced him to adopt them kids and change their name.
You
So
got to read it like it is, Diva. She convinced
they
that
said,
fool.
"Oh,
Oh God.
she convinced that fool." And so
Weak.
now, yes, honey, yes, Miss Mac, come on now. See, Miss Mac, thank you. Because we help people get jobs over here and do some things. Yes, she can. She can write the book. And let me tell you something. That book will sell out because a lot of people are side chicken, okay? They doing the side chick thing, okay? Yes, they doing side chicken. Yes, side chicken. That's what they doing.
That's
And
how
honey, yes, she's next level, Margie. You know what? You know what? I'm sorry because who told us to stop jacking Margie? Let's give it up for Margie. Hashtag give it up for Margie because you know what? She did the darn
no,
thing.
we are not giving it
No,
up for the side pieces coming in. Take it. No, we're not gonna do that.
wait,
No.
when you can convince a man to not just adopt one of your kids,
All of them.
oh, you a winner. You a winner. You a
How
winner.
much does he really not like himself, though? I mean, you have to look at the situation. You know, beauty fades, and it's not hating. It's a fact. Beauty
Yes,
fades, and
yes,
I'll commend her for closing the deal before hers exited. And
yes.
but my guy, how much did you really dislike yourself that you put a Creole looking Kim Kardashian on the map? Because she brings nothing to the table. Absolutely nothing. And you place in a lifestyle she would have never, ever, ever seen messing with drug dealers. You put her in
Now,
the style that she's in, and you disrespect. And I can't even talk about the last wife. Let's go back to your first wife. He's a disgrace, and I feel bad for his children that they have to call him their father.
And
He's disgusting.
grandchildren.
yeah, but you know what? Let me say this. She's messy, but she did change a lot that went on with Steve Harvey for whatever it's worth. Okay. His look significantly changed when Marjorie came into his life. Those two are almost style icons. I'm not gonna just, rip her down to shreds. She did something for that relationship. Like I said, she can write the book. She can write the book. And for people who want to do that, they can listen to her and they can win. And I will give this to her. You in life, we don't have no control of our looks. It's our two parents get together and it is what it is. But even for whatever it's worth, the girl does keep herself together. Okay. Marjorie Harvey, for her age bracket, she's a nice looking woman and she keeps that body intact. Chef Kev, did you want to say something about Steve Harvey?
Well, I'm a big fan of Steve Harvey. I like his comedy. But it's hard to speak on it, but it's a shame. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a shame. If you're gonna get a part of blended family, if you can't treat everybody the same, don't even get into it. So he
Right.
basically just picked this woman and her kids over his kids.
Yes.
And the kids are gonna feel some kind of way. I know he said his daughter's turned 40 this year. He's not 30, he's turned 40 this year. But it's Lori Harvey's acting a mess. The fact that she slept with Diddy and his son, you know what I mean? So but they say she learned from the mama. So I mean, it's a hot mess. The whole situation is a hot mess. So I wish best for his kids, and I hope they straighten everything out. But it is a hot mess. That's all I'm gonna say on that one.
And you know what I will add, and I'll let whoever's about to speak. I will add this. At the end of the day, this treatment is not all Lori's fault, right? It's Steve Harvey's fault because she can't just request to be treated the best. You know what I mean? Like, y'all putting her up on this pedestal. Y'all putting her out there. Y'all giving her all the accolades. Y'all making the other kids feel as if she is the chosen one. Because I don't even really see the other kids from Marjorie. I don't see any of the other kids. I see the twins every now and then because I think one of the twins, like not too long ago, they got married. So it's them pushing Lori Harvey out there. It may be because too she wants to be in the limelight, but I do feel like there is a major difference in the household. Who wanted to speak?
That was me. I feel like, yes, Marjorie looks good. We know that. We know the lifestyle from which she comes, but she doesn't have anything else to do but look good. This is her job. Her job is Steve. This is how she gets her money. And I feel like we do ourselves a disservice. I've come on here and I'm not blaming anybody because I say what I say and I stand by it. But I've taken the heat for Ariane and I've taken the heat for Mia just to get up here and for y'all to get brand new and put some woman on a pedestal with some designer clothes and some light skin and no, we need to be consistent. And yes, she flipped the game. She got him to adopt her kids and what have you. But the bottom line is she's rotten because she participates in the shenanigans, and he is most definitely rotten because he would do this to his own blood. Even if his daughters did not want to be models, Steve is a grandfather. His children have children, and I'm not saying you have to be a model. I don't care if you're playing sports. Why don't bring them on Family Feud? Do something. If you want to create a family business and you want to be family oriented, then you bring the whole damn family on and stop dressing this woman, this harlot of a woman, up in these nice clothes and telling me she did the damn thing. She didn't do it. She's a thief. She's no better than JLO stealing from Ashanti. She's a thief.
And when
I'm
you say
serious. Am I
JLo,
wrong?
you think about JLo and Puffy, it was the same scenario. JLo was lowbrow. She got with Puffy, who was in the industry. He gave her her whole entire look. He gave her her performance brand. He did everything. And as soon as she got where she was, she doodled on him and all of the rest of the blacks. That was her fan base. And she never looked back. I mean, it's
back after them
opportunity.
shots
It's just
neither.
taking the opportunity when it presents itself. And I understand you got to call it for what it is. It's just pure opportunity when they taking it as they can. They don't care about these men.
Yeah, you know what though? I think she ran from Diddy when he got in trouble.
The pow, 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 pow.
Yeah, the pow pow pow
Yeah,
pow.
she did. She did.
Yeah.
But you gotta understand. Come on, Diva. You from the Bronx too. You know
Uh-huh.
J Lo never liked that man. J Lo was
She
very
didn't.
strategic with
She
her
didn't.
movements in this industry. She knows exactly what she's going to do and when she's going to do it. Puffy had him a Latina on his arm, and he felt like he just was the thing that was. He was the cat's meow, and he's been a freaking pedophile and a pervert ever since.
Oh
But we
my
not
God.
talking about Puffy right now. But I'm just saying the same thing.
I
They get
do
these
agree
women
with
on their
you.
arms and they lose their mind.
And she's right because if we look at all the women all the men that JLo has married, none of those men, I think she's been married 24 times by now. None of those men look like Diddy. Tell the truth. None of them. She didn't have children by a man that looked like Diddy. Poppin is right. I love your commentary. You're right. She did not want him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, yep, and they blame Shine. Yeah, poor Shine took the hit for that and did his time in jail. But you know what though? Shine came out with a good attitude. I don't know if you saw that interview when he came out. He did an interview on Tamron Hall. He did a couple of interviews. I actually really liked
Yes.
Shine once I saw his interviews. Just very well spoken and not bitter. Like he took the hit for them. He took the hit. But all right, we're about to close this thing out because y'all did it tonight, okay? But we're gonna close this thing out. The hot thing on the block right now is that Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez trial, right? It's a hot mess. It's a whole hot mess. I don't even know if anybody wants to say anything about it. I'm not even gonna run through this whole timeline of it. It's just messy to trial. But I will say this. I mean, I think that these celebrities don't even realize how fortunate they are, right? And a lot of them are first generation wealth. I'm talking money, like just money like that. And they should have probably had to work like a regular job, I'm gonna say, for lack of a better word, a little longer, and then maybe they would appreciate where they're at the moment. When you have so much going for you and you want to mess around and almost lose everything over some stupidity of playing around, with a weapon and firing it off. This whole thing is just it's dumb, right? But see, here's the thing: alcohol, weapons, they don't mix well. Listen, for the most part, alcohol don't usually mix well with anything. So, if you are going to be a drinker, have the drink in your house. And then when you start to fall out, act a fool, you can maybe stumble to your bed or stumble on your couch and wake up the next morning and all will be well. This is a whole hot mess. And they're just blowing out the window their potential to make millions and millions of dollars over stupidity. Poppy, what do you want to say about this trial?
Like I said, they're making a mockery of the court system. And as you said, I think if you think back to the Motown days, I'm
Yes,
aging myself, but they had etiquette school.
yes,
All of them were a mess, but they
yep.
knew how to present themselves and act a certain way in public. The entitlement of it all, of this newer generation, and this whole, you got to stand behind her, she's a black woman, this, that, and the third. It's all taken out of context. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel, again, they're in criminal court. This has nothing to do with her. She didn't even want to file charges. The state filed it. And I said to my husband, I said, she went to court in a beautiful purple pantsuit. And I know everyone else is like, oh, she's so fly. You don't wear certain things like that to court. You don't present yourself like that to the judge. It's just it's the entitlement of it. They need training. They need financial training. They need
Yes,
etiquette training. They need
yes,
the whole kit and caboodles, because these kids are becoming millionaires overnight, and they're just becoming the deviants that they are. Unfortunately, they're getting worse and worse. I don't know what else to say about it. If he gets off, it's because they didn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt that he did what he did. We all know he got shot. We all know they all played the fool. They all are lying. They all are making a mockery of the court. And it's just, unfortunately, you're gonna have to learn. Now, guess what? Be an adult, act like an adult, and continue to just, if you're gonna be in entertainment, be in entertainment, nothing else. Leave your private life to yourself and just stop it. Go for some training, like Jay-Z had to go for training. Beyonce probably in training behind closed doors. Learn how to speak in public. Learn how to present yourself and stop the gutter trash.
Well, you said a mouthful right there. Now, let me tag on to something that you said that is so important, and you are 100% right. Back in the Motown days, we're not saying they was perfect. They probably had the same issues or worse as some of these. But yes, they went through training. They knew what to say when the cameras got in their face. They knew how to act when they went to a concert and what to do. They knew that they needed to show up on time so that they can get their money and not mess up that money. Yes, these people need financial training. They need public speaking. They need their publicists, and they need to stay off the social media unless it
Amen.
is approved by their management team to push the button to say go. And they should never, if their management team could, they should block the live button from all of their social
Yes.
media. So in the moment of weakness, they can't even go live and mess up and say anything. Yes. Yes, we know Motown went through the Barry Gordy and Diana Ross scandal. Yes, they did. But not only that, they literally went through training so that when somebody got in their face, they knew what to say, how to say it, and when to say it, and they dressed accordingly. Now, I will say this because I think you said it, Robin, that purple represents domestic violence. And if it does, then you know what? I'll give that to her. That was a smart move. That was a smart move.
Do you
If
really think
purple,
that's why she wore it? Really? I think you guys giving her the benefit of the doubt. That was a fashion statement. It wasn't nothing more than that.
okay, all
I
right.
don't want to
Well,
believe
I'll
that's
I
what
was
she
say
trying
did.
to help her. I was trying to
I'll
help her.
say this.
Yes.
We have to be mindful that even though at age we are grown, and we look grown,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, a lot of us are not really that grown.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Megan has a very unique situation. Megan's mom passed away at a very young age, at Megan's very young age. And I think that Megan has has a lot of misguidance, as
Mm-hmm.
most young people do in the industry. And I think that that misguidance has led a lot to the decisions and the choices and the outcome that has come out to today. I think that
Wait, Shmoria, I'm gonna let you finish. Best IP Casey, don't do that. You said you said domestic.
y'all, I'm trying to have a serious moment. Y'all want to be funny.
Oh
I
God.
can't.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Shmoria. I couldn't let that pass. See, don't do that. Best IP Casey. Stop. Stop. We having a serious moment right now. Okay, we being serious.
These are
Go
all
ahead, Shmoria.
very,
Go ahead.
yes, these are all very young adults.
Mm-hmm.
And they have gotten rich quick, and these labels, these companies, they could care less. As long as they are bringing in the dollars, they could care less what you're doing personal. And that's one thing that I will say about the music industry specifically, that it's no longer an industry. It's just a copy and paste. Whoever we can get to fit the bill and to sell the records for the time
Mm-hmm.
being, we're good. So they don't care about the health and the benefit. And not that they really ever did, but music back in the days of Diana Ross, and the Temptations, people loved the music. People enjoyed the lyrics. And now today's music is just kind of about a beat and a bop. If it could bop and a beat, these kids is gonna love it. It's no longer having any substance to it. And so that's why I give the excuse of, they could care let the labels, the management, the PR, they could really care less. As long as those dollars is coming in every single week, they're gonna let them roll how they do. So I think it is very unfortunate, and I think because of the what's the word I'm looking for? The guidance that Megan has been given, it has placed her in the situation that she is in now. And I do have my feelings about what happened. I honestly think that Megan and Keely both shot. I mean, Tori and Keely both shot Megan. I really do personally think that, and I believe that Megan knows the truth as well.
Yeah.
But Megan is riding on what most of us in the Black community raise up on, is not snitching, not telling, and she wants to keep that image of being that bad girl, Miss Thing, instead of allowing the truth to be exposed and really be dealt with. But
Well, somewhat
either
though,
way,
Warrior. Wait, hold on, Red. Somewhat though, right? Because on Gail King, she said he did it. So she willing to ride one of them under the bus, but not the other. So she flip flops depending upon who put the mic in her face, how she's feeling at the moment. So she owns a huge piece of this debacle.
yeah,
And I'm going to acknowledge the fact that, she probably had a rough patch growing up. But again, I'm going to say this, at some point, knowing all you know, gather yourself, get the help that you need, and not blame your past on everything that you do once you get caught. Because in spite of your past, you became this superstar.
I
And
want to
can
say
I say
something.
something,
So yes,
Diva?
you can, but because you want to address this, right? Live well, LA. I don't think that's what was said, but go ahead. Speak.
Yeah, I never ever said I would never put that type of karma on myself. I never said she deserved to be shot. So let's not misinterpret what I said.
Yeah.
I said we don't know what happened. I said in the criminal court. It has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's all I said. I said etiquette training needs to go with all of these performers as of late. I said Motown again, they put them through training, which you can see to this day. You see they all act and present themselves a certain way in their late 60s and 70s. That's what I said. I think the younger generation needs to stop really riding so hard for situations they know nothing about. None of us was there. None of us will never know what truly happened. It's in the courts now. It's up to the jury. Whatever they decide is what's going to be in court records, and let it be that. Nothing more, nothing less. I hope this is a learning experience for her and the crowds that she decides to keep, she stays within, and that's it. Just stop. Don't stop. Be mindful of what you say and what you do in the company that you keep. That's it.
Yeah, that's
And
word.
Poplin, I want to
Yeah.
add one more thing and then I'll be done as well. I love the fact that you also said that they are making a joke and a mockery of our governmental system and how we actually work. And I agree that they have made a mockery of this. And I hope that our young adults and young children do not think that this is what court is about, coming in flashy clothes and not being honest and truthful about really what's going on. If we want our system to work and be justice, we have to operate in justice. And so I would just really plead that if Megan, just be honest and tell the complete truth. Don't let this play out in court because you really dislike one individual. You know what happened, and I really think that she should be honest and come forward and really just tell the full story.
Can I say something? I think Poppin and Royer brought up good points for sure. But for me, this is a bit personal. This is extremely personal to me for personal reasons. And I will say this, we weren't there, that's true. But one thing we do know is that somebody pulled the trigger and Megan was hurt. We know that. And we heard the witness statement. The witness said that he thought that all three of them were going to take Megan's body and dump her in the river. To me, that's very serious. Nobody would have known what happened to her because all three of them would have got together and cooked the books because not one of them got on the stand and told the truth. Whether or not what happened to Megan's parents, that was a tragedy. And I don't wish that on my worst enemy. But what I will say, that's the part of the government. You're supposed to step in and give a voice to those who don't have a voice. That's what the prosecutor's job is supposed to do. They're supposed to be fighting for her. Why they took 2 years to get this show off the road, it behooves me because it makes no sense. However, justice needs to be served. For all we know, when Kelsey fired that first shot, it didn't hit Megan. There's a reason for everything because the prosecution knew that Kelsey had her hand on the weapon and they gave her immunity. So the only thing I can conclude from that, and I could be 10,000% wrong, is that whatever that warning shot was that Kelsey did, maybe it didn't hit Megan, but we know one thing for sure. Tory fired more rounds based upon the witness's account, and all of the people who keep saying that, oh, she wasn't really shot or didn't really happen and, free Tory, those are predators against women. Even women who are siding and saying free Tory, you're being predatory because it's Megan today and it could be me tomorrow. It could be any one of us tomorrow. Any act of violence against women, it doesn't even have to be women. It could be the men on the panel. An act of violence against anybody should be taken seriously, and it shouldn't matter what you wear into court. It shouldn't matter because lots of victims often tell stories, especially people who are SA'd. They will come forward and they will say, oh no, it didn't really happen. Look at the R. Kelly trial. Lots of victims tell stories, or they cannot remember which story. They get confused if it's over a span of time. Now, Megan did have some inconsistencies, but that doesn't mean that Tory should get off scot-free. His ass, he needs to go down. He needs to go down because it's unacceptable.
Let me say this 1 second, and then I gotta let somebody else in. Let me say this. It was up to the prosecution to prove who did what. And they got an F. If you've been following the case, they got an F. How does a bodyguard disappear? And if a bodyguard does disappear, how you don't stop this show until you find that bodyguard and make them get on the stand? How do you not force? Because this thing is about money too. And no matter how we vote or what we do, I'm telling you this, money trumps everything. It's been trumping everything from the beginning of time, and it will trump it when we're all long gone. Okay, so money trumps everything. So if it didn't, why wasn't Kylie there? Why when we have some questions? Because
Right.
what happened in that house before they got in that car matters. It could set the stage to let us know what possibly could have happened in that car that led to the pow pow. So nobody doesn't. Yes, they're all drunk or whatever, but we could be drunk and happy, and nobody's gonna reach for the weapon that we have. And see, there's other parts to this weapon thing, because I want to say, wasn't Tory on probation and should have never had been in the area or around the weapon anyway? So this thing is multi-layered. But my problem is the prosecution. Y'all fumbled this. Y'all took 2 years and then y'all didn't even have no solid case.
But Diva, can
Y'all
I say?
Yes, you can, but give me a minute. Let me address this here. She said, so Megan was only 23 or 24 when this happened. Who on here was emotionally mature and polished at that age? Not me. So, here's the thing, right? We can pull an age thing in this, but the thing is, right, there's some people that are 50 and 60 and still ain't mature. There's some people that are 18 and 19 are mature than people that are older than them, right? So it's hard to say, but my thing is, this is just me. Once in my family, they're like, once you start having sex and you want to be out there drinking, smoking, and carry on, then you grown. And you got to be prepared to suffer grown people consequences.
Right.
So, Candy, I think when you're trying to say something,
Yeah.
you're in the building. Yes.
Yeah, what I want to say, well, actually, two things about the whole thing. Like, I believe that Tori did it personally, but you are saying how like her lawyers or the prosecutors didn't do a good job. But the thing is, it's hard for them to do a good job when everybody is lying, including Megan. When the pieces are constantly moving, when Megan is looking you right in the eye and says, "No, I never slept with Tori. We never had a relationship." So it's like it's hard to build a solid case when everybody's working against you, basically, even though there's a victim. And I, like I said, I believe Tori did it, but it's hard to defend somebody who is not telling the truth. Honestly,
You know what? I'm connecting with you, Candy, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing. That's why they went to law school.
All right.
Because here's the thing. Most people that step in that court don't be telling the truth. They got nothing but lies. And it's up to you as the lawyer and the prosecutor to bust those lies down.
But when
you ask the right questions in the right sequence, and then you flip it around, it's the same question, but you ask it differently to break them down. That's what you are hired for. That's what you went to school for. That's what you passed the board for. Get your life together. So what I needed the prosecution to do was, one, I need that bodyguard. I need everybody that had a piece in this pie in this courtroom and potentially on the stand.
But
absolutely.
But the thing is, Diva, though, if you're under the impression that the bodyguard's going to do that, because you never know, they might have been communicating with the bodyguard, and they probably didn't feel the need to say, okay, we need to make sure this bodyguard's not leaving town. We need to make sure that the girl who flipped on her, we need to make sure, like, probably everybody was saying we're going one way, and they probably all went left. For whatever reason, Tori might have been paying them off under the table, and they probably just said, "Okay, we're gonna go left, and we're not gonna tell anybody." So that's
I get. Listen, you know what, Candy? I'm connecting with you 100%, right? And so all I'm saying though is, me as a prosecutor, I would have beat it down and into the bone of saying I want Kylie Jenner in here. Okay,
right.
I would have beat it down to the bone that whoever was driving that car, I want them in here. I would have beat it down to the bone that even that chick, first of all, I wouldn't have gave that chick immunity. So that tells you that when they want to talk about people being bored, was the prosecution bored?
Right.
Because why did that chick get immunity? And she's a key witness in the person that might have had her hands on this weapon also. So I'm saying the prosecution, y'all fumbled the case. Y'all gonna lose, and if y'all lose, I'm giving y'all the side eye because y'all did not present this thing well. And let me tell you, even if all of them people never showed up on my case, I would have ripped that thing down in my closing arguments. Their closing arguments was just about as weak as their whole performance.
And why is the judge just sitting there allowing it? It's like a circus. It's
It's a
a
circus.
free for all circus. Everyone is doing what they want to do. People are showing up, they're not showing up. Like someone just put in the chat, where's the subpoenas? Why is Kylie not subpoenaed? Why is an eyewitness not subpoenaed? This driver or whoever he was. All of these people are supposed to be made to show up in court. Did they give him a fake passport? He's never going to come home. He kissed his family goodbye and said, "I'll never see you again." Because he's coming home. He has to have a passport. How can you not find this person? He's not a millionaire. Tori's not a million. He's a millionaire, but he's not a billionaire to make somebody just disappear. Like, I've never seen anything so blatantly disrespectful in a court of law. It's like it's
circus,
surreal.
like you said. It's a full-blown circus with the clowns, the popcorn, the trapeze people, all of that. It's a full-blown circus, and they're playing in our face. So my thing is, y'all should have never even brought this to trial. You should have just thrown it out.
Yep.
You wasted the taxpayers' money with this nonsense. And to me, literally, there is no legal way. And I'm not saying, somebody did it, but they didn't prove who did it, right? So there's no legal way from everything that I read that they can even come back and say this man is guilty.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much doubt. There's a lot of doubt. You did not physically prove that this man had it in his hand and he's the one that did it. It's all this speculation. It's no witnesses. It's no people telling the truth. It's so many holes in this story. It's like Swiss cheese. It's ridiculous. Chef Cab, we're about to close out. What is your words on this trial? I don't know if I came to you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
No comment? Okay. All right, guys, listen. It was a lot. We had Cynthia Bailey. We had Will Smith. We had JLO and Ben, Steve Harvey. And then we ended with the Megan trial. Listen, I know when this verdict comes out, no matter which way it goes, it's going to be some heated conversations over this situation. I appreciate all of y'all for being here. And, I play around a lot. So when I mess around with y'all can come back at me and stop me. But I got my opinion about things, and you know how I do. Okay. but listen, tomorrow night is going to be a lighter night. We're going to have our Christmas show. We're going to talk about Santa Claus. Chef Cat, are you there? We lost Chef Cat. We beat him down. All right.
Hello?
Chef Cat, you there?
Yeah.
Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Y'all be so petty. Be so petty, and then when everybody to sit on the screen and act like they can't laugh.
Oh my God. I don't know the last time I sat on somebody's lap, so we go ahead with that.
Oh my God. Listen, I love you guys for being here with me. I had a good night. This was a good trending topic show. It was heated, but it's all in love. We love everybody. We don't mean no harm. Okay, so come back, see us again tomorrow night, Christmas show. See ya. Everybody have a good night. Bye.
I'm bringing the coquito. Good night, everybody.
Good night.